welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner, brought to you by Coldwell Banker Sakamoto Properties. And Elizabeth Quail happens to be here today.
Woo-hoo.
And yeah, woohoo! She is here, and we've been talking for quite a bit because we rode over together. So we've got a couple of things. We want to talk a little about people voting in the primary and just bounce that around just a little, because if you don't vote in the primary, the person that you've been hearing about that you think you'd like to vote for may not make it past the primary, so you'll never even get a chance to vote for them. But I think we've got to all start paying attention to that and vote in the primary. You know, even if there's only one person in the primary that you really want to push forward, I think you've got to be there. If you have no idea who the people are, then you don't have to vote. If you want to vote the party, that's up to you. But again, I think that I'd like it to be the party and the person and everything, that we've actually given it some thought. So let's all think about that. Meanwhile, we're going to do a real estate show here primarily.
And don't forget also, voting is a privilege.
Yes.
If you're not taking advantage of the opportunity, how are you going to succeed?
Never.
You need to participate. There has never been a time in my 73 years of living where voting is more important.
I agree with you. Voting could not be any more important.
Take advantage of it. You have some really good candidates out there. And if you like the status quo, vote that way. If you need change, pay attention.
And meet people. I mean, there's a number of places that you'll be able to go to meet the candidates. And if you have no idea who they are, it's at least worth doing that much. You can maybe call places that they're involved in, talk to. I don't know everything. I really don't. And I can't say that I'm the world's greatest voter or I know the most about each person. But I'm trying harder than ever this year. And I think we all should do the same.
Well, and we live in a place that's so small, our voice actually counts.
I think you're right.
So if you don't try, it's never going to happen.
No,
you
I'm
have
with
to
you.
try. So show up.
I mean, that's a great statement already that you're making, is we live in a place that's small. And yet it does take everybody voting. If there's 100 people only voting, or that are capable of voting, and only 50 of them show up, I mean, that could be totally against you. You know, so maybe you've got to be the one that's out there helping, you know, for whatever it is that we want to have happen to Maui in the future. Let's all pay attention. Let's start now.
Hope, communication, and voting.
Yeah,
that's what's going to take us into the next rainbow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's say you're confused by who's running, or you believe you're not smart enough, or that your English isn't good enough. Well, before you decide that you should not vote, rethink that decision. Talk to your family and friends. Ask for help from family and friends. Maybe kids and grandkids will assist in your interpretations. But you are very important. Each one of us are very important. Most of us have had family come to the United States from somewhere and had to learn just like you. You know, so let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. We all know how to do that, so think about it and ask for help. It might be your granddaughter. It could be a great-granddaughter at some point. It goes by quickly. Your neighbor. Yeah. It might be someone that you like in the grocery store or somewhere. But talk to them. And if they seem to know something, listen. And again, I don't know that you want to talk to a total stranger and make your decision from that. But again, just keep listening. But meanwhile, here we are.
Selling real estate.
So let's kind of think about that for a minute. It's going to be an interesting time coming up.
Yes.
And I think we've really got to pay attention to that. We've got to, again, vote. We've got to buy real estate. We've got to maybe sell real estate. But it's all an interesting time right now. So let's think about that. Give us a call, and that'll get things started. You know, call 808-870-7062 for Betty Sakamoto. To reach Elizabeth Quail, call 808-276-6061. at any time and leave a message. I mean, right now we have our phones off because we're doing the radio show, but it's fun, and we may be able to help you. Maybe we won't. We may be able to refer you to who you should talk to, but at least let's get that far with it. You know, we can hopefully direct you somewhere, or if we can't, we'll look it up and get back to you. So here we are.
It's our duty.
It's our duty.
In my opinion, to be helpful. You know, we're at an age where we've done so many different things in real estate that if it's something that it's not in our wheelhouse, we most certainly can point you in the right direction so it gets handled properly.
I think so too. I think that's a great statement. You know, and part of it is just getting pointed in the right direction and coming up with where to call, what to do, how to make it happen. And certainly right now, the newspapers are full of information on who's running. And when you see things, cut the articles out and keep them so that you can compare one article to another article and have those, or save the newspapers. But again, talk to your family and talk to the members of your family that you trust the most and that you think have a handle on what's going on. And maybe you might later decide that wasn't your best choice, but you did it. You voted, you made a decision based on what you knew today, and we all give it a try, give it a go. And now, what about a little real estate? You've got some great listings right now.
Well, and I just kind of wanted to preface it by reminding everybody, real estate is cyclical. It goes up, it comes down. We are on the downward trending stage right now. So there's certainly some great opportunities for somebody that wants to buy something at a discount compared to a few years ago. You have to be, in my opinion, you're not just looking for a steal, because it may be cheaper than a few years ago, but it may not be a great location. So finding the location that you want is imperative. Generally speaking, you're going to be able to get it for less than you did a few years ago. But what's the use of buying something inexpensively while the market's dropping and hope that you can sell it instantly?
That's true, but you know, think about too, the number of people right now, because the market is down, might look to buy the least expensive unit.
Some people do. They're
And they
not going to
will.
live in it, and they're going to...
That's right.
Yeah.
And they'll be the happiest person in the world, and they'll fix it up. I mean, they'll see to it that they take advantage of maybe the location, even though it doesn't have a view. You know, they'll take maybe the fact that it's clean and neat and it isn't going to cost a whole lot to be able to move in. That can make it okay too, if you're going to live in it.
There's so many variables.
I agree.
I think for the average person, resident on the island, that isn't looking for a vacation rental and is possibly looking for a home, you know, there are different areas where you're getting to be able to buy newer homes in the Kahului area at discounts. Lahaina side, you know, the values have dropped, but there's so little inventory left there, so it's tending to hold the values artificially a little bit longer than it has in the past. But this is all, you know, nobody has that crystal ball.
No crystal ball.
The fact of the matter is real estate is cyclical. This is an opportune time for somebody looking to purchase something at less than 2022, which was the peak of the market.
That's right. And now let's just say that you find the place that you want and you can afford it at the price that you can get it at, and you can get good financing for it. You know, all of that helps. And you can move in there, and okay, you can look at something that comes on that maybe could have been a little bit of a better or has another bedroom, whatever it is. I mean, you've got to really take everything into account. But if you're going to live there for the next 10 years or longer, I mean, it could be what becomes your family home.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to be there, and maybe it doesn't have the perfect view or the perfect location, et cetera. But if you can get a better loan and a better this, and all makes a difference.
Marry the house, date the interest rate.
Yep, there you go.
Interest rate you could break up with and refi it, as things change. But if you find that house that you want, grab it.
I'm with you.
Grab it.
I think that really does make a major
Marry
difference.
the house, date the rate.
Yeah, I think that's a great statement right there. Date the rate.
And a couple of other little things for purchasers who may be looking at vacant land or buying a home. Really the most imperative thing to think about, most particularly in vacant land, is if it has a water meter. If you don't have water, there's over a year's wait, many years to get water because we're an island with limited water. So that's going to be your first step. If you're buying property, make sure that you've got a water meter and water available. In some rural places, they have septic tanks. The county has passed new laws that say you have to have specific septic tanks by a certain year because some of the older ones are seeping into the land, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a few things that you need to know depending on what type of property you want to buy. And again, most certainly, you have any questions, give us a call.
Absolutely, if you have a realtor already, talk to your realtor and try to be sure that they understand what's going on, and talk about water and talk about whether you can start to build now and you'd have water, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And if they don't know, find someone that does. I mean, whether that's an attorney or another realtor, but you really have to work at that. And usually it'll already be in any listed property, but not always. They may have not realized on this particular property that it is an issue. But again, you've got to really pay attention yourself, and your realtor will be the one that will assist you in finding out all of the information.
Yeah.
Or if there's something there that you're questioning and they don't have the answer, tell them that you'd like to have that answer the next time you meet.
In writing.
In writing. Good idea. And that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And it'll be the thing that'll get you through an offer. Making an offer, if there is no water, is going to definitely affect the amount of the offer you're going to make.
The value of the land.
And the value of the land.
Yeah.
So, whether it's a condo, the odds are pretty good it's already got water.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's so many things. And again, talk to your realtor, spend time, just sit down with your family, your husband, wife, and just talk a lot about it. And then make notes what's important to both of you, and use that information as you're looking. Whereas you might say, oh, wait a minute. Remember, you said you wouldn't want to have anything if it didn't have 3 bedrooms or it didn't have 2 bedrooms or whatever it is. But let's talk about that. The one we're looking at now has 2 bedrooms, and it'd be hard to ever add another bedroom to it.
Right.
But let's pay attention to the stuff that we're talking about now. And I think that matters as a family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pull the kids into it. They've got some probably great ideas also.
Well, the American dream is to own your own home.
Absolutely.
And you're finding it more and more difficult to do so in these places where something affordable is close to $1 million.
That's true.
So you are having multi-generational living happening.
Yes.
Which is a very good thing as far as I'm concerned, because we're going back to our roots, back to our family, and figuring it out.
Yep.
If that's the way you can get a house, you're going to do everybody a favor. You have options. Don't forget, you don't need to carry it all. We can certainly give you the black and white of it and refer you to the right place. You deserve to be happy. You
Absolutely.
live on Maui,
No.
You work hard. Let's help you make it happen.
I think, and again, that's it. Find yourself a local realtor, spend some time. You can call Elizabeth Quail, who's here, and you can find any of these, Quayle. Put Q in, and the odds are Elizabeth's going to be the person who comes up. So that's a good one. For Sakamoto, I think it's a little harder, but you can find us. Caldwell Banker at Kapalua. Elizabeth is there a good deal of the times. Roy is there quite a bit. I'm there off and on. And it really is a great way to get together. I mean, just make an appointment, come in the office, or walk into the office at Kapalua and sit down. There'll be an agent there every day, that can fill you in on some information. And if she's tied up, she could assist you in getting someone else that would have some time to spend with you. And again, it makes a major difference. You could go down there on any given day and talk to the person, and then later come back and meet with them again, and keep making notes about what it is you want, what's really important to you, what's important to your family, and start to make lists of those things. And look at a few properties so you get an idea. And again, your agent will help you do that.
Don't be afraid to walk into the office and say, hey, do you have a half hour? Can you drive me around?
Yep.
We're not there to keep the office open. We're there to take care of you. You want to drive around for a half hour and look at what's out there? I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy
Absolutely.
to close the office and tell them we'll be back, or somebody's generally there. Take advantage of the fact, especially if you're here for a short period of time and you've got tropical paralysis and infatuation.
Mm-hmm.
That happens the minute you're here for 2 days.
Yeah,
Come by.
that's true.
It's what we do.
And you may come back another time.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be that you make a decision today or this visit, but you'll have met someone, and hopefully it'll be a person that you've got their card and you'll hang on to it until you are ready. Or check in with them every so often. See if there's been a change in the market, or where you stayed, and are any more of those possibilities
Well, and if you're
coming
not
up.
keeping in touch with somebody that didn't buy this time, you're stupid because, sorry guys, because you become friends with these people.
Absolutely.
They'll say, oh, maybe in 10 years, or we'll have lunch next time we're together. Those people will send you referrals. Don't be silly.
Take
Be
your time.
helpful.
Be helpful.
Be helpful, and guess what? When you're driving around telling your clients this is this and this is that, you're teaching yourself something too.
I think that's true
always
also.
something
Absolutely.
that we can learn on a daily basis.
No, I think you're right.
And questions to which we don't have the answer, thank you for asking it. We'll find out. You've made us smarter.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, you have made us smarter.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even, let's say, think about it. Whatever the question is, it could be something that I don't really know about this property. I might have known it about others, but I don't. And I think it's time then to pay attention to this.
Do homework.
Mm-hmm. Do your homework.
Yeah.
And every time you do that, you learn something else. And keep notes, and then look back at your notes. I mean, that sounds silly, but I do that. I mean, maybe I don't have the perfect memory, but for whatever it's worth, if I take some notes and remember this, it works.
I was just chuckling when you were saying, cut out newspaper articles.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, put it on the refrigerator so your husband's fingerprints don't show up on the stainless steel.
Yeah. What a good idea. What a good idea. Actually, I've told this story before on the radio, but I met someone on an airplane once, and we talked through the whole flight, which was about 6 hours. And I didn't tell her that I was in the real estate business. I kind of didn't give her husband my seat because I had selected this seat, and he didn't have a seat that I wanted. But I felt really guilty about it. But she and I talked through the whole flight. At the end of the flight, I gave her one of my cards, and that was it. I mean, we talked some real estate, we talked some of this, but I never said, I'm a realtor. I handed her the card. Well, it turns out she put that card on the refrigerator, and it sat there for several years, and then they came back to town. She had the card with her, came and found me, and they bought a house, and then they bought a second house for one of their kids. And
relationships are everything.
And a friend. I mean,
Yes.
I made a new friend there.
Yeah.
And I guess it didn't hurt any that I didn't talk real estate, that we had a couple of two girls enjoying 6 hours together. Yeah. It was fabulous.
Yeah, next time you think you're being held hostage by a realtor on a plane, it won't be us, okay?
It could be, but just ask who it is.
Only if you
Sakamoto.
volunteer.
Or Elizabeth Quail. Yeah, if we haven't volunteered our names, those are the names. But it is fun to be next to someone that you can chat with. The movies only go so far.
Yes. Yeah. Well, especially you guys did a lot of international flying too.
Yeah, we did for a while there,
Yeah.
and that's so much fun, really. The people that you meet, and I mean, we've just met some amazing people on airplanes.
We're lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky.
But you know what? You show up, and your luck happens.
Yeah, that's true. They say that's a big thing these days, but it is true. You know, sometimes if you're just there, if you're just available, and you're nice to someone, again, that's where your luck happens.
It changes lives.
It changes life. Anyway, right now, where do you think is the best spot right now if you were looking to buy a West Maui condominium?
You know, you've seen the values dropped 30% since the peak of the market. I think that if you're looking for vacation rentals in a place that it doesn't have rising sea level issues, you have a couple of really good options. Kaanapali Shores is great. It's in North Kaanapali Beach. The Mahana is, you're really seeing a lot of the Mahanas selling now.
What's the general price range at the Mahana today? General?
Your one bedrooms are between $1.1 million to say $1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
The two bedrooms, which had been selling at $3.2 million at the peak, now you haven't seen any of them sell since the fire. There are two bedroom units under contract right now. One dropped their price to $1.7 million, and one is just below $2 million. So,
But it's happening.
but the huge discount in comparison, and so people that are looking for a luxury item near the water that doesn't have rising issues right now, those are good
Yeah.
Kaanapali
And
properties.
for whatever it's worth, I think the bottom line is whatever your price range is, you know, you might come into the office and meet the perfect agent for you. And if you don't, and you want to say to the person, you know, I'm not looking for something for $1 million or $3 million, but I'd love to meet an agent that could help me go through the different locations where I could buy something for, it can be smaller, it could be, you know, in a larger building, it could be a small piece of land, you know, but I'd like to really meet that person that would spend time with me and fill me in on what I could buy for less than. And I think that's going to be the all-important thing.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, listen. Listen to what the client wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very often they spend more than they originally cited. But if they don't blow the sale by showing them stuff that they can't afford.
No, it's hard on both of you.
Listen to what they want. It's your duty
It's your duty.
to help people, you know, sort through this.
And don't try to force on someone the information, because they've already told you that they can't afford that. And sometimes you could meet someone that would say, well, I'm not going to spend more than $500,000. And then it turns out that they really could if they had X number of dollars down and something pops up. That's going to be a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we've hit the probably 1 minute warning. I was told 2 minutes, but I have a feeling that they were pushing it. Yeah, he gave me that little kind of hand waggle.
You mean we've managed to speak for another half hour nonstop?
I think we've done it. We've done our best.
Amazing.
I think it's been perfect. So let's just say, look for us again next week, same time, 11 o'clock, and we'll be here. You know, either Elizabeth and myself, or we'll have Danny Couch here singing. We'll do something, you know, but come and listen to us. Pay attention. We do have the 1 minute warning. Danny Couch is going to come back on. And buy Danny's album, I Love Hawaii, and call any place and you will get that album. And I do love Danny Couch. He's the best of the best.
We're so lucky.
Yeah, we are so lucky. Aloha.
Aloha.
I feel happy